Let's do it.
Well, she's I don't care.
Yeah, it's not up to date.
Yeah, good.
Unless it's in the
Yeah. You have to.
We'll take a month off.
All right, board, we're live and recording. You can start.
Okay. Should we wait 2 minutes? You guys want to do
Technically, you're supposed to.
Yeah, I think we have to wait the 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Because it's not 6:30 technically yet. I think we only got a minute to go, but
Yeah.
want to be proper.
Yeah.
Let's do. Come to that.
Oh, well, this one, yeah, this one.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Be great. But we'll have tons of candy to pick the shop. Yeah, you do. Always. Yeah. No. She could change. Oh, really? Oh, so good. So they are in the okay. Yeah. I checked today again and then see if they can come. No. I will be back the same age. Yeah.
Right. Maddie, are you good?
Yeah, we're good. You guys can start. We're live.
Okay. Can I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Sam for the audit. You want to introduce our auditor?
Sure. Well, the board retains the services of EFPR Group as their external auditor to conduct the annual financial audit. Jeff Jones is the auditor who comes to audit us each year. He's joining us by Zoom. Jeff, the board has a copy of your handout, and I know you'd like to put up on the screen as well if you wish.
Yep, I'll share it right now. Okay, and can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so as Sam mentioned, my name is Jeff Jones. I'm a manager with the FPR Group. I've been coming out to the district now for a number of years, and I'm just going to be going through a summary of the district's audit for the year ended June 30th, 2022. First to note is that the financial statements and our auditor's reports were reviewed with both the audit committee and management last week on September 29th. We are happy to say that we'll be issuing unmodified opinions, which are unqualified or clean opinions, which in the auditing profession is the highest level of opinion that we can issue on our financial statement. Now, these will be issued on the district's basic financial statements. Now, that'll be your funds, such as your general fund or capital projects fund, as well as the extra collection activities funds, and then also on the district's compliance with program requirements over your major federal programs. So this would be referred to as a single audit. We did note that there was no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that we had to note within the financial statements or internal controls. The district has taken appropriate steps to resolve the prior finding that we had in the last year's financial statement. You were able to maintain an unassigned fund balance of not greater than 4% of next year's budget. Now, we're happy to say management was a pleasure to work with. They were able to provide us everything we asked for in a very timely manner. Now, just some high-level numbers here. When we take a look at your district-wide or your full accrual level, we saw that revenue ended up exceeding expenses by about $10.8 million. Now, that's in part to revenue increasing from the prior year by about $4.9 million, mainly due to general increases in property taxes, your state sources, as well as all the new COVID-19 related grants that were coming through. Additionally, we saw the expenses actually dropped about $8 million from the prior year. Now, that's primarily due to the changes in your pension plan actuarial assumptions. So each year, your ERS and TRS pension plans are measured at different dates, and depending on when they're measured, how the plan is doing, how the general market is doing, it really kind of flows each year. So we always expect to see really big swings in those numbers. Now, when we took a look at your governmental fund level, we saw that the general fund experienced a positive change in the fund balance, actually having a net income this year of $1.6 million. Within that, we saw that your revenue increased about $2.5 million from the prior year. Again, this was due to property taxes and state sources. And we also saw the expenditures increased about $2.5 million from the prior year. And that's just normal increases in salaries and other related benefits. Now, in the presentation here, I also did a quick summary of the general fund's fund balance on the year. The most notable items are seeing that your restricted fund balance did increase almost $2 million. And right here is really how we were able to get rid of that finding from the prior year, just kind of funding the reserves, as well as increasing the amount that's assigned for prior year expenditures. And what that really means is that in the 22-23 budget, the district is committed to using kind of cash on hand instead of putting those extra expenses on taxpayers. So all these are really positive numbers and really nice to see. Now, so yeah, as I mentioned, that was just a really quick, high-level overview of everything. Now, is there any questions that I can help answer?
Wait for the voice question? No, we kind of
We went over it a lot of it, audit, yeah.
No, everybody good?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I was gonna say that having an unmodified,
Yes.
unqualified,
Yes.
meaning no problem report is. not-
Kind of says it all. Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
All right, so news of the schools. There's only
This is the school.
Yeah.
Ms. Smith.
Okay. Okay, so believe it or not, we have progress reports coming up already. This Friday, they should be available on the portal early next week. Hard to believe. We also have coming up this Thursday a voter registration drive. A few of our very active students, Arian Shug and Jocelyn Narvez, have led the way with this. They'll be working with the League of Women Voters to have a drive during lunch periods this Thursday. And just for the record, the volunteers from the League will be the ones handling the paperwork. Sometimes that gets tricky. And PSAT Day is the 12th. Our 11th graders will be taking the PSAT, and our seniors will have their senior breakfast and their class photo and a little late arrival. We are hosting a unified soccer event this Thursday, the 13th. West Hampton, Riverhead, Southampton and Hampton Bays will all be participating. That is during the day. I forgot to ask Mr. Mitchell exactly what time, but I will be in touch with those details. But
And we're participating too.
we are, yes,
Okay.
sorry. Yes, they are coming here to participate
hosting
with
it
us.
for them.
Yes.
Right.
Yep, we are hosting. That's a better way to say it. And we also have a guest speaker coming, Mark Leanweaver. He's a motivational speaker who has a very strong message about the ills of social media and also anti-bullying message. His primary target audience are athletes, and he's coming from a recruiting lens and how those things throw you off course. But his message is definitely useful and important for all of our students. So all of our students will be going to his presentation on the 18th. So we're looking forward to that.
That's during the school day?
That is during the school day. So we'll do two 2 grade levels, period 8, and then 2 period 9. So everybody will be able to hear him. We had our teachers participate in an emergency training today, keeping all things school safety in mind. Speaking of that, we had Officer Tim Tierney's first day on the job today as a full-time SRO. Though he's been on the streets of East Hampton for 18 years, he is now in the hallways of the high school. So we were thrilled to have him on board, and I just definitely wanted to thank the board and the East Hampton Town PD for making that happen for us. And that is all.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'm just going to do a brief athletic report. Kathy gave it to me and wanted me to read it. So we have a donation that's going to be discussed. I'll do that in new business. Kathy, Ms. Masterson, hosted her first athletic committee meeting, and according to her, it was a huge success. Thank you, Adam and Board of Ed members. I have not yet determined if it was a huge, no, but it was a great meeting. It was really well run. Volleyball had its Dig Pink game against Miller Place on Friday night. It was a very positive turnout. If the Board of Education or anybody else in the community is free, on the 14th, we would love them to come down and support our girls soccer team as we bring back their fundraiser, Battle of the Bonikers. It will begin at 4:15 on the turf. All proceeds go to Kick Out Cancer. You'll see staff members playing against each other. I think I'm suiting up. I will be possibly playing in that game, and I will be out the next 3 weeks. Yes. So that's it.
Great. Good. So, public comment. Matt, do we have anybody on the phone for public comment for agenda items?
We have no callers at this time.
Thank you very much.
John asked me to mention on his behalf, and I'll do it of course, behalf, how proud we were of our board president in the newspaper.
Yes.
Public comment.
Thank you, John.
Running our emergency services.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we really, it's terrific. You do a great job. Another unsung hero. So thank you
Appreciate
for
that.
that on behalf of the board
Thank
and Mr. Ryan.
Thank you very much. All right.
You weren't even a lifeguard.
No, I know. That's a great point. That's great. I feel really, now I feel even better.
Things are great and you weren't a lifeguard.
All right. Consent agenda. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and now we've got superintendent's report and recommendations. Number 1, recommended the board approve the following amended resolution. Resolved that Nicholas DeLuca is, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, appointed to a contractual current substitute teaching position who holds a valid New York State certification in secondary mathematics, grades 7 through 12, to commence on September 26, 2022, and to expire June 16, 2023, and to be paid at the annual base salary of $57,875. I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Permanent sub, yep, continuing on that practice.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 2, recommended the board approve the following appointments for the 2022-23 school year. Begins with purchasing agent pro team, Jennifer Cunningham, and then what is it? And instructional substitutes, Tyler Shore. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Pretty much standard appointments. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 3, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve the shared sports agreement between the East Hampton Union Free School District and each of the following school districts for the 2022-23 school year in accordance with terms and conditions set forth in said shared sports agreement, and authorize the superintendent of schools to sign the said agreement. And it begins with Southampton, Sag Harbor, Bridgehampton, Hampton Bays, and the Ross School. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Big shout out, and thank you, Kathy and Kerry, for chasing down these school districts. It takes, you can imagine, coordinating with all these districts and all their boards and superintendents. So I know Kerry and Kathy worked very hard on this, and Caitlin.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4, recommended the board approve the following resolution. resolved that based on the recommendation of the Audit Committee of the Board of Education, the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby accepts the annual financial statements and independent auditors reports for the fiscal year ending in June 30, 2022, as performed and prepared by EFPR Group, CPAs, PLLC, the state of New York. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Just had it?
Yeah, we did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolved, whereas the East Hampton Union Free School District has determined the amount of state aid and other estimated local revenues be applied to the 2022-23 budget, and whereas the voters approved the contract for library services between the East Hampton Union Free School District and the East Hampton Library, now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby sets the total tax levies for the contracted services with the East Hampton Library and the East Hampton Union Free School District as follows. School tax levy, $55,735,763. The library tax levy is $1,526,517.64. Be it further resolved that because the STAR program will pay portions of the school tax levy that normally will be borne by the property tax in the 2022-23 school year, and the school tax levy shall be therefore offset by the annual amount received by STAR, and be it further resolved that under the provisions of the General Municipal Law 6R, that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby appropriates the following reserve fund monies to be uses revenue for the 2022-23 school year and presented to the voters in May of 2022. Retirement contribution reserve, $100,478, and the New York State TRS School District contributions reserve sub-fund of $95,000. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? It's all talked about prior a lot. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 6, recommend the board approves the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the following change order number 1, contractor JNS Heating Services Incorporated, and for the new transportation department according to the terms and conditions set forth in said change order, and authorizes the president of the Board of Education and the superintendent of schools to sign said change order. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? This is the
Transfer,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the ducting work.
This is for additional ducts to go to an exhaust manifold that they want to be able to connect to vehicles they're working on to vent to the outside.
Good. So we go from 2 to 3, I think, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on. Here, I guess, at old business. Anything for old business? New business, facilities committee reports.
So let me go backwards. So
Okay.
just a reminder to the community, a special meeting, November 7th. We're having a special board meeting at 6 p.m. here to discuss the elementary school's dual language program. Principal Karen Cunith will be presenting, supported by myself and Ms. Patterson. Athletic committee, I have a request that was submitted through Ms. Masterson regarding a creation of a memorial on a rock. Dear board members, Ted Meyer was a beloved member of the East Hampton High School physical education staff for many years. He was also an extremely successful football and wrestling coach, as well as a mentor to many students. To honor his legacy, I'm asking for a plaque with his name be embedded on a rock and placed near the football field. From Joey McKee, he appreciates your consideration in this matter, and he looks forward to hearing from you. As per our policy, 5231, it is the board who decides that said memorial could exist.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I think you should be in charge of where it's located.
Yes, we will figure
And
it
the
out.
proper people outside put it in the
Yep.
proper spot. And Ms. Smith as well would want to know where it's going. But other than that, I think it's a good idea. I like
It's
it.
a wonderful.
Yeah, it's very nice. Good.
Okay.
Do we have to do anything else? Or?
No, that's it.
It's okay. Good. Thanks, Jordan.
Facilities committee, so a few things, we're obviously wrapping up, you saw our change order, so transportation thing. You'll probably see a few more change orders come across, at least one more.
Contract.
Yeah, so you'll see a few things. One thing that's coming up, we've talked about the fence on our property outside over there regarding our neighbors. We've met with our neighbors about the fence. We're looking to replace some existing fence, prevent some whole walkthroughs. What we're going to do is we're going to try to follow the fence down without going into the vegetation. Going into the vegetation just creates, I think, an undue expense and a hardship on our district. I think we have a really good relationship with our neighbors, and we'll figure something out appropriate with the fence and the type of fencing we use. Again, what the initial discussion was taking down a lot of trees and unwanted brush and leveling ground. It's just really cost prohibitive over there. And
For
it's
property we're
unused.
not going to use.
Pretty much.
I mean, we're not gonna use it.
So we're going to
And
work on that.
confirming the conversations that we had, which is that there's no adverse possession on it.
Correct, yeah, as per, yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yep, I think that's, it was work done well by you and the neighbors, and that's what we wanted, so it's a good thing. Anything else? That's it. All right. Matt, do you have anybody for public comment?
We have no callers.
Do
All
we,
right.
do we have a time for the special meeting, the dual language special meeting?
6 p.m.
6. Okay.
Good.
And basically, just so that what we want to do as a board is just take some time to sort of dig into the program, since when we established the program, it was a pilot. So to sort of review with Ms. Kunith and others, all of the information and decide how we move forward on it, right? Because we're sort of a little bit at an inflection point with respect to older grades and budgetary considerations and all of that. Is that?
Yes, absolutely.
Every year we've had to make the decision, do we continue to the next?
Well, it was a 3-year, right? It was a 3-year pilot, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I know we haven't.
Because originally we did the first year, at the end of the first year we met, we said, okay, let's move
Right.
forward, and then.
Right, it was
Right.
look at it on a year-to-year basis.
Right.
That was more of an academic committee thing too, also,
Right.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then that was, it was updated here, but this is a public conversation, which I think everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
Sort
particularly,
of
so this is
looking
expanding
forward.
it. The original experiment, pilot was up till grade 3.
Right.
Right.
We've
Yeah.
reached
And where do we go?
grade
Yeah.
Right.
Good. Anything else? Anybody else have a comment or anything for the board? Good. Motion to adjourn?
3. I make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Oh,
Okay,
I guess
thank
we
you
can.
very much.